when it comes to health, really, and food, health and food, it's actually the opposite of what people tell you, of what society tells you, of what health professionals say. Hi and welcome in this video. Maryam here, sharing about how to live a more nourishing, energizing and prosperous life. In today's video, I'm sharing the answer to a question, which is how to eat to maintain health, um, usually on a journey of fasting, intermittent fasting, whichever type of fast you choose to go through. But my answer will be it's usually the opposite of what health and society and medias want broadcast and want to share with you. So what do they share? Eating diversity, eating a certain amount of protein, fat, and sugars or carbs, eating a certain amount of times a day, and yeah, basically these things, and maybe some still advise eating animal products. These type of advices are, to my experience and to so my experience from 2000 and actually the year 2000 when I became a vegetarian, and then 2002 when I started fasting. From my experience, these, if you want to have health, you have to do the opposite, or you have to do actually different. So instead of diversity, that means you have to go for simplicity, and instead of trying to have your plate as full of different things as possible, it's the opposite. Having a plate that has as less differences as possible, as less diversity as possible, basically going towards monomeal and mono food is what is healthier than diversity. So example, instead of having a plate with a steak, maybe potatoes, and then some vegetables for those so-called vitamins, you would have a plate with only the potatoes to start with, for instance, and nothing else. You would just eat the potatoes. It's actually healthier in this scenario to have a plate of potatoes, pasta, rice all together, instead of having potatoes with the meat and the vegetables, because it's easier for your body to digest and process one type of food instead of several different types of different foods and all the different nutrients in it and all the different a way that the food is done. How do you say that? Is that a word to say? The different, basically, the digestive process is longer and more complicated the more different type of foods you have. So in that respect, what you want is to simplify your digestion so that you don't waste so much energy digesting, and so that your body can actually keep its energy to focus on other things that are nourishing for you, that will nourish yourself more, so that you don't have to always take outside more of these different foods to feel like you're filling yourself up to nourish yourself. But it's just the constant cycle of the same cycle of consuming so much of your energy to digest for something that isn't exactly useful in the first place if you already have a nourishing life. Okay, so if I give another example, instead of having maybe at some point when you grow onto that journey of simplicity and simplifying your diet in quality and quantity, then maybe instead of having, you may have different nuts. You may have a bowl of nuts, let's say almonds, cashew nuts, and peanuts. And you have that. So 3 different types of nuts. That's only nuts, okay? That may be after a year of fasting or 2 years, you reach that level where you've understood that you don't really need a lot of different types of food to be okay, and you don't need meat or anything like that to have proteins. So nuts are fine for this. So after a while of eating those 3 types of nut, you may move on to eating only 2 types of nuts. Maybe 6 months after this on your journey, you would eat maybe almonds and cashew nuts. And then after maybe another, let's say a year and a half, because it's different for everybody, your evolution can vary. It can vary from one person to another. You may eat, instead of 2 types of nuts, then 1 type of nuts. It would be, let's say, you only eat the almonds and no longer cashews and almonds, right? This is one example. And then another meal you may have, then you may have only a plate of vegetables. Let's say at the beginning you may have 5 types of vegetables on your plate. and therefore it's easier for your body to digest. And then maybe after some time, while doing this type of a diet, you change and you have 4 types of different vegetables on your plate, and then later on you have 3 types of different vegetables on your plate, and then later on you have 2, and then later on you have 1 veggie only, to the point you reach like a plate of 1 food only and 1 ingredient. And then the next meal, the other meal you have another type of ingredient, instead of just mixing together everything. So it's easier basically for your body to digest only proteins on the plate, and then at the other meal only carbs, and then in another meal only anything else. What is it? Fat maybe. Well, fat is contained in most things. But really, the reason is your body is able to process food and change the nutrients into something else. If your body processes fat, your body can turn fat into sugars, or sugars into fat. So basically going to more simplicity is the key to rejuvenation and to health. At the end of the day, it's not really about how much fat, protein, vitamins you eat. It's not really about that. It's always going to come back to calories. Calories. If you eat 2,000 calories of, let's say if you eat a whole pot of peanut butter, okay, it's full of fat. But if you eat only this during your day, it may be healthier than eating 3 meals of different type of stuff on your plate. Let's say meat, veggies, carbs, and a lot of mixes, a lot of processed food, maybe industrial. It will be easier to just eat that peanut butter, like let's say how a pot would be 300 grams, than eating a lot of other things in one day. Just to give you an example. So because it's all at the end of the day about the calories, not exactly about the amount of fat or protein or whatever that is contained in your food. Okay, just like it's healthier to eat a pot of ice cream than 4 different meals a day of maybe a total of 50 different ingredients. Yeah, I know it's strange, but it is true. Okay, depends where you are on your journey, and depends what is your fasting experience and how nourishing your life is, what type of workout you do next to this, and what type of lifestyle you have linked with holistic practices. So that will make a major difference. If you are someone who exercises a lot, but following your own intuition as well, if you are a person who goes to nature a lot, these are nourishing. These practices are nourishing. If you meditate a lot, then all of these will be so nourishing that at the end of the day, no matter what you have or don't have, you will still be fine, because your body will already be nourished by your lifestyle. And your level of stress is also something. If your life is very stressful, then hard to maintain a good, healthy weight and basically good health. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. I catch you up later in another video. Till then, you can join the newsletter, link under this video. Bye now.